Hey everyone, welcome back for another episode of the Remote Real Estate Investor. My name is Emil Shore, and today I'm joined by
Michael Albom.
Pierre Correa.
And today's episode, we're going to be doing something similar as we did on a recent episode, which was if you guys remember, the episode 10 most affordable states to buy a home. We're actually going to be covering the top 10 states with the lowest property taxes. And this will be 2021 data that we're going to go over to help you, as you're looking for markets, looking for states to invest. Hopefully all this data will help you in that journey. So let's hop into this one. All right, guys. So we are sans Tom today, but we got Michael and Pierre, which dynamic duo here. Very excited for this episode. Last time we did something fun where I have the list in front of me and you guys guessed. I think you each took 3 guesses and see if you made it in the top 10 list. So let's follow that same style. Pierre, you get to start this time. So we'll go back and forth. So Pierre, you'll go one, Michael, you'll go one, and we'll just flip flop back and forth. And I will tell you guys if that state is in the top 10 list of lowest property taxes.
Love it.
All right.
Good luck, Pierre. You're going to need it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember all the different agents we've had on over the last year. So definitely not Texas because they don't have income tax.
That is correct.
I'll say Alabama because that was one of the reasons we chose Alabama because, man, was it low.
Alabama. Ding, ding, ding. That is correct.
Nice.
Alabama is one of the top 10 lowest property tax states. Good job here. All right, Michael, what you got?
All right. I'm going to take a flyer here and I'm going to go and say Tennessee is going to be in the top 10.
Tennessee is not in the top 10 lowest property tax states. Sorry, Michael.
Swing and a miss.
Pierre, looking good, dude. All right. What you got for your second guess?
Kentucky?
Kentucky is not on the top 10 list. Sorry.
Oh, man.
All right. Virginia. Show me Virginia.
Show me Virginia. Not on the list. Sorry, Michael, man. You're struggling here.
Man. Mike, we're struggling here.
You guys did so much better on the other episode. I feel like you guys were doing really well on that one. Come on, guys. All right, Pierre.
Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado. Remember that 5th grade project, the states project in school?
Oklahoma.
Yeah, you had to remember every state and every capital.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
Oklahoma.
Final guess. Oklahoma is not on the list.
Oh my God.
All right, Michael. Chance to tie it here or just go down in a terrible blaze
fury,
of
glory. Like a phoenix, I'm going to rise from the ashes.
Embarrassment.
Show me Mississippi.
Ding, ding, ding. Mississippi is on the list.
Really?
Eat it, Pierre.
Redeems himself. Hold on. You guys tied. I wouldn't go.
Just not Jackson, Mississippi.
You guys tied. Good job. One apiece. You got a 33%. You both failed, but you both.
Hey, man.
You both at least got one on the board.
I went to engineering school, 33, and it's for sure passing. Like that's like the highest grade oftentimes.
I get, yeah. If it's based on a curve, you guys both pass.
On a curve.
Fine.
Sweet.
This is a list compiled by Business Insider. And again, this is for 2021. So top 10 states with the lowest property tax. We'll start at number 10, move our way to number 1.
Or so like this is 10th least expensive. Number 1 is going to be the least expensive in the country, right? Is that how this list works?
Yes. So counting number 1 will be the lowest on a percentage basis property tax. Starting with number 10, we got New Mexico at 0.55% of assessed home value.
I just got to say, already this list is garbage because the way homes are assessed is so different in every state. So I guess that's just something to highlight and point out is like, look to understand, and every county does it differently, by the way. So like understand how your county that you're interested in purchasing property calculates property taxes. So is it assessed value? Is it sale price? Sometimes those two numbers are the same. So it's really important to go do a little bit more digging after this episode. And these 10 places could be a great place to start But I had to get that off my chest. Assessed value is a bunch of garbage. Like two assessors from different states can look at the same property and assess it differently. So whatever that's worth.
I've been the beneficiary of this on my triplex in Missouri. The assessed value they gave was insanely low. So I've been the beneficiary of that. But yeah.
You're just bitter that you're a veteran that tied with a newbie here. So
looking for any excuse just to claw back some knowledge.
Yeah, for real.
Some knowledge share. All right, what's number 9, Emil?
I'm curious, Michael, if you know this. So assessed home value, is that literally the structure? Does that include land? Does it not include the value of the land? Do you know how that works?
It's usually broken down between land and building, is how I've seen it.
Yep.
And then I think oftentimes the assessed value is the sum of those two. And so you're not depreciating the land on your taxes, but I do believe that the land is still taxed, because if you just go buy raw land, I think you'll still have property taxes to pay on that. It's going to be significantly less than, but that's my understanding.
Okay, so that's interesting. I just really quickly looked up an article on what is the assessed value of a house. So I'm just going to read this. This is from a website called Value Penguin by Lending Tree. So it says, officials review other relevant information such as neighboring property values and the sales history of the property to determine the assessment value. This estimate is generally made without actually inspecting the home, which can lead to an inaccurate valuation, which is a testament to what you were saying, Michael. If the assessed value is higher than the fair market value, the property has most likely been overassessed by the town, and the owner is probably paying too much in taxes, which is one reason, you can actually fight your property taxes. The assessed value of a home usually lags in comparison to the market, since the valuations are only adjusted annually, while market values can change multiple times per year. A home that has recently been resold tends to be closer to the assessed value than a home that has not sold in a long time. Depending on the area's legal restrictions, most assessed values cannot increase more than a certain percentage each year. So interesting. Okay.
And that's another question to ask your local county assessor is, how often is the property reassessed? Because there are some jurisdictions where it's like once every 3 years or once every some kind of frequency. So it's not always an annual thing.
Yep. Yeah, I remember when I was recently buying that triplex I just mentioned in St. Louis. The triplex. You know what? We have a new kid at home. I'm allowed to have brain farts like that. I called the assessor and they gave me like the formula that they use to calculate it. So a lot of times, again, if you're looking anywhere, you can call the county assessor. They'll either give you the formula or they'll give you a breakdown of how they kind of calculate these things. But anyway, back to our list. Number 9, we got Mississippi, which is 0.52% of the assessed home value. Good old Mississippi.
MISSI, SSI, PPI.
You liked geography, didn't you? You were good in geography class?
Dude, I love I really like geography. My wife and I will sometimes play the geography game where we'll go back and forth naming countries, and then you got to name the capitals. It's a fun brain game.
Have you guys ever played the National Geographic board game?
No. Tell us more.
No.
It is awesome. So I found this at the Goodwill. The Goodwill here has an entire row of board games. So we went there and they're like $3.50 each. So board games are like $50 each sometimes. So anyways, this is like a game from 1986 or something. And anyways, you build a globe flat out. So you have a bunch of hexagons and you build a globe, and then you answer things about markets and people, geographic or planet Earth. And you have like 4 categories and you get points based on it's a real fun game. So as a geography lover, you might really enjoy that game.
I'll check it out. And that's cool that you build the Earth flat, because that's how it actually is in reality. So that's right. That's good.
Well, because you make it flat, you can make 4 Earths, because it's like when you unpeel an orange peel, it doesn't lay perfectly flat. It leaves up open surfaces. Yeah. Anyways, National Geographic plug right there.
Nice. Right. There's this app I downloaded a couple years ago, and it like helps you learn continent geography. So it'll pull up Europe, and it'll have the outline of a bunch of countries, and then it'll like list 10, and you have to like tap where you think that country is. So it helps you like learn different continents. So that one's cool too. All right.
So that's cool.
Number 8.
Back on the rails.
Back on the rails. Number 8, we got Arkansas at same as Mississippi, 0.52% of assessed home value. So we got a two-way tie between Arkansas and Mississippi. Moving up the list, this is a very popular hot state for rental property and investing right now. South Carolina at 0.5% of assessed home value.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah, interesting, because we've had both Jackson, Mississippi, and Columbia, South Carolina.
That's right.
Yeah.
And those were both very high in taxes. So this is just kind of an average of the states and not necessarily those metropolitan centers.
Correct.
Or metropolitan.
Because every county can do it different.
All right, moving up the list, we got, I think somebody mentioned Virginia, but number 6 on the list was West Virginia. So
man. Doesn't that,
is that you, Michael?
Totally count, yeah.
If that counts, Kansas counts for me. I'll just add an arc
yeah,
to
for
the
real.
front of it.
all the neighboring states.
On Jeopardy, what is Virginia would not be the same as what is West Virginia. Sorry, Michael.
All right, seems reasonable.
0.49% of assessed home value on West Virginia.
West Virginia was actually, I think, the number 1 state that was on the top 10 list of most affordable places to buy. That's interesting. You can get a cheap house and pay very little property taxes.
There you go. All right, moving up, we got the District of Columbia, DC, at 0.46% of assessed home value. Obviously, homes are very expensive there, so you're still paying a lot in terms of nominal dollars, but percentage-wise, on the list of top 10. All right, number 4, Delaware. We got 0.43% of assessed home value. So business friendly, right? Don't people like incorporate a lot in Delaware, and then looks like low property tax there as well. Number 3, this was Pierre's guess, Alabama, 0.33% of assessed home value. It's tiny.
Nice.
Go Alabama. Number 2, this one was surprising to me, Hawaii. Hawaii, 0.26% of assessed home value.
What? I guess I figure if you're paying so much for the purchase, you're still giving them, like you said, a lot of nominal dollars.
Exactly. And then number 1, can I get a drum roll, please, guys?
Dun, dun, dun.
Louisiana, 0.18%. Nothing, 0.18% of assessed home value. Crazy.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Makes total sense.
And that is our top 10 list of states with the lowest property tax.
We should do another episode ranking the best school districts or the best school systems in the country and see if there's any overlap or direct correlation or parallels we could draw between high property tax states and very good school systems, since that's so much of what those dollars go to fund. That's I think, like, looking at the property tax breakdown, that's often the biggest portion of the bill in terms of like dollars and percent goes to the school system.
Right. It'd be interesting though, because again, even though you could have, like, California, I think is probably in the bottom third, or it's definitely in the lower group, the bottom 50% in terms of percent, I think. But just because home values are so high here, again, like, just so much property tax revenue. So I wonder if it's like, you know, does percentage matter, or does it just matter of like overall dollars being pumped into the system?
That's a good question too. So for California, I think it was Prop 8. I think I'm told
13. Prop 13.
Prop 13. That's it. Where you have 1% of the sale price at a minimum,
forever, and then never gets reassessed.
Well, it does. It goes up with time, but like your base value, your base assessed value is at 1% of the sale price. And so I
thought Prop 13 in California was like, your property tax never changes. I thought that was the whole thing behind Prop 13, is like, once it sells, it's calculated at that value forever. I thought that was the whole thing with Prop 13. Otherwise, you know, you have someone who bought a home in California 30 years ago, and now their property tax is like astronomical compared to when they bought it, because their values have gone up so much.
Well, I think it goes up nominally every year. Like, look at your last 2 years of property tax payments on your house. Like, it will have likely gone up a nominal amount.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, so Proposition 13 declared property taxes were to be assessed by their 1976 value and restricted annual increases of the tax to an inflation factor not to exceed 2% per year.
Yep.
Okay, you're right.
And don't some areas charge more on property taxes based on whether or not you're going to be investing or whether or not you live in the property?
Yes.
There's
I have a home in Indianapolis, and you pay a higher rate if you're an investor rather than if you're a owner occupant buying that home.
Yeah. I think in
So
India, it's like
point there as well.
2% of the assessed value versus 1% for investor versus owner occupant. So it like doubles.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think that's right.
There's a exemption too in California, homeowners or a homestead exemption. It's pretty minimal. It's pretty nominal. But in other markets, it can be pretty impactful.
Yeah.
Do you know if any of the states that we covered on this list are subject to that?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
So that might be something to look into. You know, you might think it's the lowest place, but then you go to invest.
That's right. This is only a starting point. We're leaving our listeners with a lot of homework.
Yeah. Well, I think it's such a good place to start, and especially if you go listen to the other episode and overlay, okay, where are there affordable homes to purchase and also affordable property tax rates? Could be a new market for you. Awesome.
And if you listen to more than 2 episodes, you will have heard Michael say more than 5 times, call your county tax assessor.
Michael,
so
call your local county tax assessor album.
Well, it's just one of those things. Like people are like, "Oh my god, I got totally burned by the property tax." It's like, well, you didn't do the one thing that you should have done. It's so easy.
Raise your hand if you fell victim to that on like your first or second property. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, see,
I heard it. I heard it too a million times.
Well, mine was more so like the home in Indianapolis. I didn't call the tax assessor. I just looked at, okay, what is it as a percentage? And I didn't look into, for an investor, it's higher. So it's like, during escrow, I figured all that out. All in all, still fine. Indianapolis has been a solid market, could appreciate all those things. But again, just got to go in eyes wide open.
Yeah. And it could have not been.
It could have not been. The joys of a bull market: make mistakes, feel less,
still win.
Feel the impact of a lot less. All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope this was a helpful episode for you, and we will catch you all on the next one. Happy investing.
Happy investing.
Happy investing.